I would like to thank everyone for being here on the roundtable today. And I know that you have plenty going on and you have choices of what you can do with your time. So, getting on here to help each other, we sincerely appreciate it and thank you very much. And so, I'm going to jump into the slideshow. If I'm gonna channel my Elon Musk like technology skills and go right to it. Chelsea, can you see the shared slides?
Yes, sir. Sure can.
Awesome, awesome, and awesome. Well, again, thank you for being part of this professional roundtable. It is so awesome to be with this group every month. Uh, it's really very rewarding. And I know I say this every month, but I sincerely mean it. It's very rewarding to get to be with this group and to see you all pull together and help each other and to give an hour out of your month. And so thank you for being here. And so, for those of you, if this is your first roundtable, this is unbelievably our sixth season of the professional roundtable that started out as just a COVID update. And because of the work that you guys put into it with the sharing, this has turned into a valuable experience, I think, for members across the state. So, welcome. Like Denny Crane tells us every month, because of his great legal skills, these Zoom based meetings are posted on social media platforms, specifically YouTube. So if you do not want your video shown, you may participate with your video button turned off. Otherwise, your participation serves as consent to post on the YouTube. Well, there's no shortage of fantastic memes available for Thanksgiving because uh, that really uh, is a great month because of all the Thanksgiving things happening. And nothing says Thanksgiving, of course, like a turkey and football. And really, Santa has begun to try to horn in on the turkey's actions. So I'm glad that the turkey stepped up there and told Santa to back off a little bit. November belongs to him. Now, this slide is a little bit blurry. I know Brooks Humphrey would enjoy that, but it kind of fits because the farmer with the axe there is actually blind. So if he can't see, I don't guess we should have to see either. But the chickens, to fool him, where they don't have to be, the turkeys are making the mooing sound. So that's a really good meme, even though it's not clear. And if you do use, a lot of people use e-cards instead of going down to the Dollar Tree and just spending $1 on a good Dollar Tree card. They use e-cards now, and I think this would be a great one for you to use in your Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving brings out the best in family dysfunction ever since 1863. That's a heart-touching, warming card. On this day in history, November 6th, we had a lot of cool birthdays. The great Glenn Fry was born in 1948. He, of course, was with the Eagles, and he was the lead singer and guitarist on many famous Eagle songs like Take It Easy. And then in the 80s, Glenn Fry had another big hit with Smuggler's Blues. So Glenn Fry is certainly an icon. We lost him in 2016. Sally Field, who we all know as the Flying Nun, she started out as Gidget, then became the Flying Nun. Then she got hooked up with Burt Reynolds, and they had a baby they named Forrest, and she became Forrest Gump's mother. But today, in 1946, Sally Fields was born, and Rebecca Romaine was born in 1972, and she's famous for a lot of parts, but she has revived her career by being in the newest Star Trek series as number one. Congratulations to all these birthdays. And on this day in 1900, President William McKinley was reelected, along with his vice presidential running mate, Theodore Roosevelt. And for those of you a little bit familiar with history, you know that McKinley became the third president assassinated in 1900, shortly after the election. And Teddy Roosevelt ascended to the presidency and served out the rest of that term and one other. So, congratulations to the old bull moose, Teddy Roosevelt. Again, thank you all for being here, working together, and giving of your time so that you can benefit members. Thank you to all the board of directors for all that you do in the programming and the decision making and leading the organization. We always want to sincerely show our appreciation to that group, along with the area presidents, the leadership that you provide for all the folks in your particular area. I always say this, the best stuff in CTAT happens at the area level, and that does not happen by accident. That's due to the hard work of the area president. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to call on Paul Ball. Paul, if you don't mind stepping in and talking about our districts of distinction.
Hey, Mark, and welcome everybody. That picture was taken. I didn't quite have my ring light adjusted well, so I'm really shiny in that picture Mark pulled from the internet. But I just wanted to jump on here real quick and again welcome everybody on behalf of the board and myself. Congratulations to all of our CTAT District of Distinction earners this year. We had 71 earn that, and out of that 71 guys, we had 38 new school districts come on board. So congratulations to those who earned it a second time, 2 years in a row, but really those 38 that took the time to apply. And really it goes back to what you're doing in your district, as you know, and as you went through that application process, it is an all-in district application. So you got to have that support from your community, from your not only your CT program, but also your district as well. So thank you to you for wanting to have your school and your programs nominated and recognized with this. There's no better word than fantastic, amazing, goodness gracious. It's all good when you come to this. So thank y'all, everybody, and just wanted to take a minute to say that. Thanks, Mark.
Paul, that's certainly a distinctive list, if there's another way to describe it. And that's 71 out of 12 or 1,300 districts in the state. So it's quite the honor. And Paul, we appreciate your leadership as our CTAT president, and thank you for recognizing those schools. All right. Well, let's move on to the next slide here. Now, Ms. Bonds, if you're on here, we would like for you to give us an update on the Texas Workforce Commission IBC Council, of which you have served as a representative and helped with a lot of intense decision making that's just happened.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. So when I was on our roundtable last month, I asked if anybody wanted to weigh in if, when it came time for voting, and several of you filled out the Google form. So thank you so much. I'd sent you some information. Basically, the way our Workforce Commission Council works with creating our IBC list is we work with K-12, higher ed, and industry partners to gather all of these credentials. We vet them, have discussion, and we send our list to TEA, and they share it with your districts. And in the first year we did that, it caused some confusion or wondering. They are not for accountability. It is for information purposes only. So our list exists and it sits out there. With this latest IBC list and some of the ways that legislation has rewritten some code in the last little bit, our council, which is comprised of 12 members, 3 K-12, 3 higher ed, and 3 representing industry, we are given considerations from Mike Morath with TEA, the commissioner, for us to consider in changing or voting on tiers for groups of IBCs. So we were given 3 considerations. The first 2 were related to moving groups up a tier. So there were some IBCs listed as tier 2 that they wanted to recommend be moved up to tier 1. And then there were some listed as tier 3 to move up to tier 2. I don't have the full list in front of me. If you really want to know all the information, please reach out and I'll give it to you. But I'll tell you the ones that they wanted moved up into tier 1 were things that were Texas specific, like a Texas CDL license, a Texas LVN or RN, because they're using federal labor market information. Those certifications are not going to show up in those lists. So that's why they wanted it moved up. So those first 2 considerations, our group, we had 6 in attendance that day, and we approved unanimously. If I said there were 12 members, there are actually 9 members. Sorry if I misquoted and said that wrong a second ago. It's been a long day. But then the third consideration was just a handful of IBCs that were initially, which we had all seen the preliminary list, were listed as tier two. And they said that labor market data warranted them to want it be reconsidered to move those down to tier three. The folks that were in attendance at Houston City College, I did not know Houston had rebranded. It's no longer community college, it's Houston City College. I learned something that happened in August. But when we were there at that meeting last Thursday, the council members that were in attendance had a choice. We could either, we had to be unanimous because we needed a 2/3 vote. We either needed to vote to move the IBCs down a tier, vote to keep as is, or not even consider it, and they would have stayed as tier two. There was conversation and good conversation between K-12, higher ed, and industry. Dr. Terry from Forney ISD was the other K-12 representative that was there that day. And so we had some conversation, but the higher ed folks definitely felt like maybe it wasn't the best thing to do to move and change, not knowing what labor market data they had been pulling from and what might have been different. So we actually unanimously voted to keep those IBCs at tier two and not move them down to tier three. So some people have reached out and asked, oh, do you get to review all IBCs? No, we only get to review any that the commissioner sends us for reconsideration. And this was a one-time deal. This list now is about to be final, right? We got the near final. If you watch like summary of finances coming in, it's kind of where we are. Higher ed coordinating board still has to look at it, and then it'll be done and blessed with everything. But we'll have this list now for 5 years. Our IBC council will continue annually to update our list and see what that process is. Annually, we'll provide it to TEA. It is just, again, for information purposes only. So it's been great. I've been on the committee now for 3 years, and I've really enjoyed representing y'all. My minor in college is political science, so the backgrounds of things are always super interesting to me. I hope I get to be reconsidered and keep supporting y'all. And if not, that is okay. But it's been a great opportunity, and it's fun. We got to, like I said, go to Houston City College, and I did not know that they had rebranded, but exciting for them because now they've got their bachelor's degrees. So I rambled on too much, Mark. I'm going to mute now.
Was perfect. Sherry, it doesn't seem like that's been going on for 3 years, but I guess it has. You've really
Yeah.
had a heavy lift, and we certainly appreciate your participation in that because you're one of us in there fighting for the programs and the IBCs that our students need to earn. So thank you so much.
Happy to do it. Thank you, Mark.
All right, if I can find my mouse, we'll just keep on plugging here. The conference dates are coming up, and boy, are we excited about the February 9th to 11th conference in San Antonio at the Grand Hyatt. Probably of all the winter conferences we've been, the Grand Hyatt is the probably the nicest hotel and the nicest location, and it's just a great learning environment for members to share. So we really look forward to you guys being at the winter conference in San Antonio on 9th to 11th. If you haven't registered yet, those Grand Hyatt hotels rooms, last year we had plenty. This year they're really getting close to kind of filling up. So get on there and register and make sure you get a room at the conference hotel. And this summer we go to Fort Worth, probably easily the best place for a summer conference. Lots to do right there within walking distance of the hotel and down at the stockyards. We're looking forward to that. And Robin has a fantastic social event planned without going into that a lot of detail. It's going to be quite the event. It turns out to be quite the event every time we do go to Fort Worth, but I'm really looking forward to that. And then Chelsea has been working heads up on the forensics conference that will be happening in San Marcos. We're not necessarily partnering everyone, but we're using Southwest Texas State or Texas State University there in San Marcos. We're working with some of the criminal justice partners there, and we're really looking forward and hope that we have a better turnout. And we know that we'll have equally as good of a learning opportunity as we did in Huntsville last year. For those of you that are coming to the winter conference, we need you to submit a presentation. The conference is only as good as the presentations. And I have to say that the presentations in the past 2 or 3 years have just been incredible. They're always tough to top. We do have ROT presentation. Allison Bellevue has submitted one kind of a panel to go through and really help members come in and do some Q&A and learn about ROTC from the folks that have been doing it for years. Candace Beckham has really, since she left the school district and went to the service center, has really become a statewide expert in Texas in teacher incentive allotment. So she's going to be doing that. The TEA team will be there to give updates and to answer your questions and to dodge your questions on just teasing, but to answer any questions that you have on any of the updates and changes that have been a part of Texas CTE. Rolling right along, the regional trainings are just about over. We concluded our last regional training for the fall yesterday with CTE and campus admin training. A big shout out to Renee Martinez, who helped us by providing a space and working with us with the logistics with Monique. And we couldn't have had a better space to do Campus Plus CTE admin training. So thank you so much for your help, Renee. And a big shout out to Mindy Hampton, who helped us put together the CTE finance plus PEAMS plus CTE workshop that we held there at Region 16. And if you haven't been to Region 16 in a while, they finished an update about a year ago, and it looks like the Taj Mahal. Mindy, that'd be tough to beat what you guys there have there in Region 16. We certainly appreciate you and your years of dedication to CTAT. Again, we talk about the programming. Probably the only thing that we will hit on heavy next month will be the leadership CTAT. Will start in January through May, and that's for folks that have at least 5 years of experience and you're wanting to get involved at the area or state level and your career and technical association. So look forward for more information coming out about leadership CTAT. Any of the events that we mentioned or we share in the future, you can go to ctat.org, click on the events page, learn more, and register. This is just a quick note because we keep getting this question. It comes up unbelievably once or twice a week. Do CTE teachers on DOI have to be certified? And the answer to that is right here in to the administrator address that was sent out. And it says that districts with the appropriate and allowable exemptions. So if your plan allows for that flexibility for non-foundation subjects, allowing CTE and other enrichment areas may continue to serve in DOI assignments. And of course, if you didn't believe me when I read it, well, there's another slide with a big red circle around it because that makes it more important. So now we're going to move on and to Chelsea and Parvo and June. I don't know if they're right there with them or if this is their nap time, but we are looking forward to the CTAT updates. Chelsea?
Gosh, those are some good looking animals, Mark. You really capture their pretty side.
They are.
That smile that Jasper does is just looks kind of like you. He resembles
animals.
Uncle Mark a little bit. Hey, friends, our to-do list for November is pretty vast. And as always, this is how we start out our CTAT chat that you guys received on Monday of this week. And so check out those to-do lists each month so that way you're staying on top of things as they come. And again, register for CTAT Winter Leadership and check out the opportunity to present at CTAT Winter Leadership. And we can't wait to see you there. We are full for program evaluations for fall 2025. We have limited availability for spring 2026. So even if you haven't secured all of your funding or things like that, if things are still in the works, reach out to Mark and I so we can put you on our calendar and place that hold. So that way we keep that availability for you in the spring, and we are here to serve and support you through that. Again, our model program of study framework, this was actually a resource that we touched on briefly at yesterday's training with campus administrators. And we got great feedback on the spot from CTE leaders that they have already implemented this document with their team. And so specifically one district said, hey, we've actually used the rubric for our work-based learning program. And so we took that specific section, we worked with different stakeholders, and we're seeing outcomes, and so positive outcomes. And so check out that resource. It's available to you under CTE Administrator Resources on our website. And if you need any assistance with that, reach out to Mark and I, and we're happy to walk you through that. And that wouldn't have been possible without the work of the committee that came together, the task force that came together and put that together. So this wasn't something that was born out of the brain of Mark Boshier or Chelsea Reeves. This was created by CTE administrators for CTE administrators. So check it out and utilize it. There is the 2028 A through F Refresh Roadshow. Performance reporting is welcoming you to part 2. There are Zoom sessions available. This was directly taken from our CTAT chat. And so if you see the part 4, proposed changes to domain 3 is available on the 18th and the 20th of this month. And then it's my understanding that if you missed the other ones, they were recorded, so you can catch up and catch those at your convenience. CCMR A through F accountability system. When we talk about industry-based certifications, one thing that is relatively new is that you do not have to report attempted industry-based certifications this school year. You are only reporting passed and earned. And so that's a good reminder because we're coming up on the end of semester 1. And so, Mark, my ADHD brain cannot handle this whenever you do this. We are coming up on the end of the semester, and so you may be submitting documentation for PEEMS to input your data. So make sure that you're not having them do additional work, or if they come to you and they go, hey, what about all of the attempted or failed? Like there's some learning and informing to do with your stakeholders. An update also is military readiness. Mark wants to hit this hard, that students can demonstrate military readiness in the CCMR component by completing a JROTC program and achieving a passing score on the ASVAB. This change will be effective with the next accountability refresh with the 27-28 school year, and be on the lookout for what constitutes a passing ASVAB score. I am sure that they will be giving us stipulations on that. Industry-based certifications, those lists are out there. Again, Sherry, thank you so much for dedicating your time and advocating for our programs and for our IBCs available to our students. Be on the lookout for the final, not near final list. And as soon as we get that, we will post that for you in both the open forum as well as in the chat.
Chelsea, last Friday, this website was updated, so the new list is pretty much the new list, as new as it's going to be. But last
Excellent.
Friday, this website was completely updated.
So if you haven't visited it in a week, go ahead and revisit it and be on the lookout for probably final population and documentation. We do want to draw your attention. Each month, we highlight through our online learning center a course that you or a stakeholder of your choice could take part in as a member. So one that we are highlighting this month is Teaching Creative Computer Programming and Interactive Projects. What a great micro learning that you can provide to some of your teachers or maybe a coordinator over that content area that can then turn that around and teach others. Just really great resources available to you through CTAT and ACTE. Agency news update. If you are not receiving performance reporting, accountability, the CTE newsletter through TEA, make sure that you're signed up for those because there are tons of new updates and information that we will link in our newsletter. But we want to make sure that you have access to those in real time and you don't have to wait until the month to receive ours. So when looking at the statutory submission requirements, the dropout prevention plan must include the following items as outlined in TEC. And once again, here we see career and technical education is popping up in areas that historically it has not popped up in before. So when we talk about dropout prevention plans, we must include information related to CTE courses or tech app courses that lead to industry or career certification. So this may be new on your radar after today, or you may need to take this information and meet with the stakeholder in your district that's responsible for this submission and communicate that you're there to support them through that and work through what it is that you need to do in partnership with them. But once again, we're seeing CTE spread into all facets of secondary education, not just in our classrooms and in our hallways. This was back at the end of October, but TREX version 5.8 of the data standards has been added to the TEA website, and it does include an update that has a new code table for IBC reimbursement number. So this new code table, again, review this with your CFO, your business office, PEEMS, and make sure that you have everything you need to have a successful IBC reimbursement process within your district. State Board of Education, another great newsletter to subscribe to. Any and all updates, you'll receive them. But there was some adopted amendments to specific Chapter 127 courses. So looking specifically at our Ag, Food, and Natural Resources, these amendments make a technical adjustment to prerequisites to align with the career and technical education programs of study. It also updates a cross-reference and updates language relating to employability skills. So again, as they're updating these TEKs, make sure that you are working with your content teachers and providing them or reminding them to go in and retrieve their newest, most updated TEKs because CTE courses are continuing to get updated and refreshed. Go ahead. The 2026 A through F estimator tools are now available for public use. So check those out through Teal. And if you need any support in that, let Mark or I know. And it is a little known fact that we have heard often is people ask which CTE courses can be taught by a teacher with special education certification. And there's a few, career preparation, and also general employability skills. So there are CTE courses that can be taught by a special education certified teacher, as well as student to industry connection. Now, those courses, even though they're taught by a special education certified teacher, must be available to all students, no matter if they're receiving services for special education or not. But when we're looking at staffing needs, and when we're looking at maybe getting innovative with our master schedule, it's always great practice to look at all certifications held by all people on our campus, in our district, even if they're not currently a member of the CTE team. So that way, maybe you can snatch up one of those special education certified teachers and bring them over to the fun of career and technical education.
All done, Cliff Clavin.
And now, no, Mark, go back to that picture. So guys, it is a joy to travel around the state with Mark Boshier. And, you know, it's not often that you get to look over and see your mentor and your favorite coworker, no offense, everyone else from staff from the team, with his new Costco Puma socks, sun tanning his legs as we go down the road. So it's always fun to be on the road with Mark Boshier. So send all your well wishes and prayers. And that Brooke Martin is an unofficial, unlicensed Puma endorsement brought to you by Mark Boshier.
That looks like Lou Ferrigno's legs. Everybody agreeing? All right, fantastic. So now we move into the news, and Britton Schultz at Georgetown ISD helped head up the Manufacturing Day in 2025, and that was in October. And it was certainly a big festival they had to get students in touch with manufacturing careers. Eastview High School and Georgetown High School toured local manufacturing facilities across Georgetown and gave students hands-on experience and a glimpse into the diverse and dynamic opportunities of modern manufacturing. Congratulations, Breton. Well done, young man. Well done. And now I'm going to call on Robin Panovich, our executive director, to give a special highlight section of the CTAT Roundtable. Robin?
Hey, you guys, I wanted to hop in here for a couple things today. For our District of Distinction, I am so proud that we had 71 recipients this year, up from 38 last year. Just as a quick reminder, District of Distinction is not an award. It's a designation. Awards recognize the best, right? And that's always a limited number per year. The opposite, District of Distinction is not about how few, but about how many. So District of Distinction is a program that needs to grow. So we encourage all of those who are on this call, if you haven't checked out the rubric, please do. We would love for you to submit for next year and become a CTE, a CTAT, CTE District of Distinction. All right, transitioning, since it's impossible for Mark to compliment Chelsea because he reserves all of his appreciation for her dogs, Jasper and June. I just want to give a quick shout out to our Mrs. Chelsea Reeves for opening doors and elevating our forensic science law and public service conference in a big way. Chelsea has established a relationship with the Department of Forensic Anthropology at Texas State and San Marcos, which means that next summer, when CTAT hosts the 2026 conference, we'll have access to the most requested experience from this year's attendees, a visit to the body farm. Is it a little gross? Yes. Is it wildly exciting for forensic science and LPS teachers? Also, yes. Chelsea has also lined up PhD students to present on skeletal remains and evidence gathering. So talk about bringing real world learning to life. Snaps for Chelsea. All right, team. Okay, so we've got, I'm excited about this special spotlight today. So friends, we get to celebrate and hear from two incredible Texas CTE leaders who are stepping up in a big way, both running for ACTE National Board of Directors. First up, Allison Beliveau, a longtime CTAT member, twice serving on CTAT's Board of Directors and deeply involved in ACTE Region 4 as a leader. Allison has also participated in ACTE's Fellows Program, bringing her talent for connection, advocacy, and service to both statewide and national work. She's poured so much into CTE leadership in Texas, helping share her knowledge and train others along the way, and we're proud to see her represent us on this stage. Next, Darlene Mills. She's the executive director of TIVA for the past year and a half, and before that served for over a year with Skills USA Texas and had a long and established career in the classroom as a CTE teacher. Darlene has been dedicated to supporting CTE educators in all of her roles and student leadership for decades and continues to be a passionate voice for our field. Both of these remarkable women reflect the heart of CTE in leadership in Texas, service, advocacy, and lifting others up along the way. And as a quick plug, if you've ever thought about growing into regional or national leadership roles, ACTE Region 4 committees and the Fellows Program are wonderful pathways to explore. This is how Texas will continue to show up strong and have a seat at the national table. So now, Allison and Darlene, we're thrilled to have you both with us today. To get us started, I'd love for each of you to share what inspired you to step forward for national office and what do you hope to bring to ACTE in this role? Allison, why don't we start with you and then we'll segue to Darlene.
Sure. Thanks, Robin. Um, so I would say about maybe 12 years ago or so, Christine Holacek and Donna McKethan, I'm sure if you guys have been around a while, you know those names, pulled me into volunteering for Region 4 committees. And it really opened my eyes to what is going on around the nation. Like I had no idea that things weren't like Texas because I've always been in Texas as an educator. And so I've been going to Region 4 for over 10 years, Vision. And so about 2 years ago, somebody from Texas that serves on the board now said, hey, we need more Texas representation on the board because really in CTE, we've got it going on in Texas. There's a lot of states that aren't as well organized as we are, I would say, in Texas. And I just kind of put it on the back burner, and then they kept coming back. And then I met Sandra Adams, the current admin vice president, and she and I had conversations at two different conferences. And she said, Allison, you're going to do this. And so that's really how it came about for me to do that.
Allison, you have certainly been a strong member in two different areas and on the state level for CTAT. And I know that when you do this, it's really like taking on an extra job. So we really appreciate you representing us on the ACTE staff and board.
Yes, sir.
If you guys heard Allison's comment there, it's all about showing up, you know, and having those conversations. So as you're attending those conferences, you have those types of conversations, one hand can take another. And next thing you know, you're into a leadership role and you can serve on a broader scale. Thank you, Allison. We appreciate your passion and the lens that you bring for both the district, state, and national leadership levels. We're lucky to have you representing us.
Thank you.
Darlene, we would love to hear from you next.
And so basically, I am here in the same way. It's I started my CTE journey 30 years ago within a career prep class. And so my passion is getting industry involved and getting our students off the couches and going to work and putting them in a career or that makes them successful in life. Because I mean, that's what we're all here to do is make our students successful and get them out there and put them to work. So my focus is on industry, but getting into this is just like Allison, you know, you grow up and you mentor under people, and they're my very first year in career and technology, my friend Brenda Thames, who is long retired now, said, you have to go to TIVA. And not only did she have me go to TIVA, but she said, I think you can teach this class. So my very first year at conference, I was teaching classes. And so, and it goes from there. It's, you know, so like you say, somebody grabs you by the hand and they take you on and you can do this too. And so you jump in and you do this. And so my person who drugged me here is Bart Taylor. You can do this, Darlene. You need to run for trade and industry vice president. There's so much that you can learn. You're passionate about career and technology. I'm hardworking. When I put my head to something, I'm going to see it through. And again, you know, my passion is that trade and industry, getting them involved, getting them in the classrooms, and just aligning the teachers and the industry and the students and making them successful. So that's why I'm here.
Darlene, you hit the ground running because you've only been at TIVA for is this your third year?
No, I'm just a little over a year.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You've done 3 years worth of work in 1 year.
Well, I'm working on it.
Well, I'm with a long history.
And you know, I have to give all of y'all the credit where credit is due. Robin is a phone call away. You know, Chelsea's a phone call away. I can bend your ear whenever I need to, and I need to often. And I really appreciate that. Because when I jumped in, it was going to be the easiest job ever. And it has been fun, but it's been it's been a journey. It's been a journey. Um,
Well, Darlene, I can tell you from the bottom of our hearts, we want to see you succeed in the role. We want Tiva to thrive and serve our trade and industrial teachers very well.
Thank you.
So we're here for you. Thank you for your perspective, and I'm grateful. We're grateful for your long history of service to Texas and our educators. And Allison, did you want to add anything?
So I just want to say a few more things about maybe getting involved. So this is year 26 for me in education. Sometimes I go to conferences and I'm like, gosh, I'm like the dinosaur around here, you know? And I see so many people on this call today that I've known forever. And we've been to conferences for 20 plus years, but, you know, really just get involved. And people encouraged me. I mean, whether you're from a very large district or very small district, you know, there's something that you're probably doing amazingly well that other people want to hear. And so, you know, don't be shy about, you know, submitting a presentation, whether it's at winter CTAT, summer CTAT, if you want to present it at Region 4 ACTE or Vision, you know, I've presented at all of those, and it really kind of started with people just going, hey, that's a great program you're doing in this district. You know, you should do that. You should share. And I thought, oh, nobody's ever going to want to hear. They're already doing it. But I'm surprised, like I said, this is year 26, year 19 as an administrator, and I still learn from you guys all the time. So I so appreciate when other people present, because I want to just, you know, soak it all up and learn from you guys. This past year, I went to National Policy Seminar for the very first time. And I thought, why did that take me so long to go to? It's an amazing, amazing conference that you get to, you know, go to DC and go to Capitol Hill and learn everything that's going on. And, you know, I'm not really into politics and all of that, but I am into learning and I am into educating and supporting CTE. Like that's my passion, that's my jam. So I just want to say, don't be afraid to get involved. Run for your area board. Present at an area conference first if you want to do that. But it's just so important to share your knowledge because there's something that you guys are doing that others aren't, and we need to know about that.
Allison, don't we have a few other folks from Region 4 who are running?
Yes. So myself for the admin, and then, you know, Darlene for T&I. And so our current Region 4 president, Michael Colwell, is running for the ACTE president, like the whole big thing, you know. And then Rachel Knight is an ag teacher from New Mexico, and she's running for the ag division. So when you guys vote, whatever you're eligible to vote in, depending on what category you signed up under, please try to support everybody that's in Region 4.
So Allison, how long is the board term with ACTE?
So the way this works is that you do a 1-year shadow and then you do a 3-year term. So if we get elected, the shadow would start in July, so 2026, do a year shadow of the person currently in it, and then you have a 3-year term. And your last year of term, you're bringing on somebody new to shadow you. So that you're not just thrown to the wolves. You definitely have somebody to mentor you. And like Robin, when you said, you know, apply for the fellows program, I did Region 4 fellows program, and it was great. So make sure you're doing that as well.
All right, you guys, you hear that? If you are interested in stepping into a role like this, we're going to have additional opportunities. So talk to Allison, talk to Darlene, get your vote in. If you're a member of CTAT in a leadership classification, you will receive a ballot to vote for ACTE as long as your membership is current. So we encourage you. Ladies, we're truly spoiled here in Texas with strong leaders who show up like you, who lift up others and keep CTE moving forward. Thank you both. And now back to Uncle Mark.
And Robin and Allison, help me out here, but they scroll down to the bottom of the CTAT chat and find this little squiggly boo. They can use their phone to vote, right?
So voting
Squiggly
won't
boo.
open. Yeah, and voting won't open until we're at Vision. So December 10th is when voting opens.
Fantastic. Well, we'll send that out again. And thank you very much. Thanks, Robin, for the highlight. And thanks to Allison and Darlene. We appreciate you guys very much. And so we're going to roll through here, and I'm going to exit out of the share and pop back into gallery mode, and let's see what's on everybody's brain here. What questions, comments? A lot of info.
You did such a great job that they got nothing.
Hey, Mark, can I ask the question that I text you?
Please do. Yes, ma'am.
So with the certified teacher and the District of Innovation and all of that, there's actually an email address that districts can send questions to. And so my question that I had for our HR was, what about our CTE teachers that are teaching a CTE core class like anatomy and physiology or forensics? We have a couple on District of Innovation. Are they going to have to go and get certified? Because it counts for a core credit. And so my HR said, great question. We don't know. So they submitted that question to the email address. And it basically came back as, we really don't know at this time. We're going to have another meeting and let you know.
Well,
But you said, tell them your answer to me.
well, my thought is that I would lean no because of just the way they've historically cited on things like this, but I would not venture a guess. So I think what you guys did, submit a ticket and wait on the answer, is the best you can do.
Okay.
Will
Thank
you
you.
share that back with us when y'all find out, Allison?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
Mark, I have a question about
Yes, ma'am.
ROTC. Like, what career cluster is that going to fall under? Will that be under like law and public service?
Oh my gosh, what a good question. What career cluster will it be in? It's got to be under one of the 14. So I don't know. Chelsea, any guesses?
We're getting yeses in the chat. So does anyone have an as of? Callie Joe said all of them. Is there an as of date or date effective date? Does anyone know if you've heard that on like a listening tour?
Now, Amber, if you're in here, you said pretty definitively that it's under law and public safety. Have you heard that from someone?
I do believe I've heard it, that it would fit there under law and public service. That's my understanding.
Now, really, it doesn't matter as far as the accountability point because it's going to be its own program of study, but it could theoretically matter in an endorsement. But ROTC is already mentioned specifically in the endorsement area, so there probably won't be any ramifications. But it would be good to know. That's a good question, Ms. Bullen.
Hey, because they're great minds, that are, the room is the smartest person in the room, and we've got some really smart people in the room. We actually have documentation that supports that it is within that specific career cluster. Thank you, everyone, for linking the TEA CTE course catalog. So that is great information that if you need that for your records, go ahead and snag that there.
Get Amanda Hatton. Well done out there in Beaumont. And then Owen Dixon put into the chat, Chelsea said, for superintendents and deputy supes that want to come to the District of Distinction presentation, can they come in as a guest to go across the stage? And that's kind of a Robin question, but I think last year we did just have them as a guest during the presentation. Is that not correct?
Well, actually, Mr. Boshier, Mrs. Reeves puts together the District of Distinction Awards, but I remember she included everyone's name who was there. So the answer is yes.
Yes, they can come on site and just be there as a guest. We'll have them just get checked in at the front, just so that way we know that they're there. We can greet them. There's not a registration fee associated with them for being there for that time frame. I think we had one superintendent that joined us last year. And she literally had, I think, like a total of 45 minutes in her window to walk across that stage, get that done, and celebrate her incredible team, and she was so proud to do it. So Owen, Owen and anyone else on the call, I'll talk about it with staff internally, but also if you just want to make me aware, then I can file that away and be extra prepared for you guys.
Thanks, Chelsea. You answered my second question is if it's, I was kind of explaining to them how it was. If many superintendents go, they were like, is it something that a lot of superintendents go to? And I don't remember seeing very many, but maybe they want to. I don't know.
What a gift and a blessing that you have such a supportive administrator and district leader that they want to be there to honor and support you. So I think that's a great photo opportunity. I think that's a great way to connect and also show them stepping into the world of CTE a little bit. So
I would kind of like them to be there for that. Yeah. I want them to be there for the whole opening ceremony stuff and so they can see the part of it. So thank you for that answer.
Yeah, of course.
We want them to see that too. Thank you.
Tell them to get the whole meal deal and sign up for registration and come to the whole deal. We'll discount it 2% if they sign up tomorrow.
But tell you what, we've talked about just offering superintendents a free ticket for just a one day, just to elevate, have them be more aware. So go for it.
Yeah.
We'll take them.
So I want to piggyback off of a little bit what Cynthia is putting in the chat, because I know JROTC is being aligned with law and public service. But if you think about the Air Force Division, that almost aligns more with your transportation, distribution, and logistics because of the drone certification. So are we going to have an opportunity to kind of give some public comment and feedback on that?
No. I know that there are listening tours that are going on with performance reporting. I also think that TEA CTE team does a great job of, regardless if public comment is open or not, if Marcette gets an email, a phone call, a text message, whatever it may be that relates to an issue.
Okay, I volunteer.
Then she submits that as evidence of open comment, public comment. And so it doesn't just have to be in the window of time frame. And then Tally said, that's why I say all of them. I believe there are many aspects. It's very similar to why aren't drones aligned in more programs of study, right? Because it's not necessarily the TEKS alignment, it's the industry alignment, because TEKS are very broad, right? We can meet the TEKS, we can satisfy the TEKS, we can show mastery of the TEKS by implementing drone education, similar to kind of what you're saying about JROTC, Brooke. So I think that regardless if there's public comment open or not, it's definitely worth planting that seed and continuing to water it. And so your volunteering as a tribute will be a beautiful blessing that hopefully we get to reap soon. So because I think that's a great point, that sometimes we get so linear and focused on those career clusters, those programs of study, that we don't pause to go, well, wait, what is it in practicality? So elevate that and bring that guidance. But the CTE TEA team does do a great job of taking what they hear from the field and submitting it in the appropriate channels to get that documented, from my experience.
Thanks, Chelsea. And if I can do 2-second shout out to Region 7 and your Admin 2 training. Here's why. We have a new person in our grants department, and bless her heart, she is learning by fire hose and she is doing all the things. And I did not screenshot the whole poster, but number 7 on leasing equipment, I screenshot it to her and she was like, oh, thanks. I now have this answer, because she was waiting for a response from TEA. So shout out to Region 7, had that poster hanging up on my wall, sent her the screenshot, and we were able to move forward. So thank y'all.
You're so welcome. We appreciate that.
On the ROTC, keep in mind that it's really, the impact of it's really limited where it goes. Because in Texas Administrative Code, ROTC is already part of public services. So they're not going to do anything with that without some major announcements through the state board. As you can see, it's part of the public services already, and 4 courses, which means they would become a completer already. So for all intents purposes, it really won't matter which career cluster it goes under. But let's let Lana anyway.
I'm just going to invite them out so they can come see our JROTC alignment with our private pilot program and see how we're doing drone integration, and they can see how we can expand.
And that goes along with the guys that you guys are training as actual pilots. One of the few districts in the state doing that. All right, what other comments do we have? That's a great question. Zach, how are things there in Irving? You guys been hitting it hard and heavy.
Things are good. We're very busy. We have our new CT center we just broke ground on a month ago. So we're excited to finally get that up, about 18 months. But things are good.
Does anyone have any questions about conference, registration, hotels, anything like that? This is kind of the time of the year where that comes up a lot.
Before we head into Slack mode.
Well, I guess last call for questions to the general group. A lot of information, a lot of updates. We certainly appreciate our ACTE, and I hope we get the whole ACT upper echelon of board and officers stacked with Texas representatives. We're going to be watching that election closely. All right, very good. Any others? Then I'm going to stop the recording button. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next month here on the Roundtable.